It's up to you. We can go right to questions, or if you wanted to lead us off with what you wanted to say, it's up to you.
I think I'll just go to questions. That's fine. That works for me.
Sounds good. You know the order, everybody. Go ahead. Fire away.
Hi, Bobby. Hope you're feeling well. I guess that's the first question. How are you feeling? And then the next question after that is, how much practice time have you had or not had since your last game?
Well, thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that. It was interesting. We got back from Cal, and I started feeling bad on Tuesday, and we were in a quarantine on Monday. We started our quarantine because we had a positive case, and so the whole program basically was shut down from Monday till Friday in a quarantine situation. We tested the whole program on Thursday, and that's where we had a number of positive cases and a couple of symptomatic cases. So. But yeah, it was a couple of days were a little dicey for me. It was, I had some breathing issues, and I was very concerned because I had a lung surgery when I played in the NBA when I had my car accident. So I was just a lot of thoughts going through my mind about how I felt about that, but never to the point where I thought about going to the hospital. So it was, but it was chills and the body aches and just. Wow, the restrictive, breathing and it lasted for about, 2 days. So I was able to, gradually feel better. And each day I'm feeling better, more energy. And but it definitely hit me pretty good. As far as the team goes, we had about half the group that was able, starting last Saturday, to do some, limited skill workouts with masks. So. A portion of the group was able to do that. We had a couple of coaches that were available to conduct those workouts, and they were challenging because of the masks and just not wanting to do a lot of live work because we just didn't really know when we'd be playing again. So it was it was certainly a difficult situation for those guys, but they pushed through it. Wednesday was my first day back with the team. I hadn't seen the team in 10 days. I had been watching every workout, that the guys were doing from Saturday through Tuesday. So, that was interesting from that perspective. It was different, to come back to the group because I really maybe have missed 2 practices, I would say, over 6 years, just, and those 2 probably were related to recruiting situations that I couldn't get back in time for practice. So definitely a different situation. And, but, we're making the best out of it. Today, I believe our entire group of guys that potentially will play on Saturday will be able to practice without masks on. So that's going to be, I think, advantageous for us to not have to worry about guys, having restricted breathing with the masks on during practice.
Hey, Bobby, is there anyone in particular who will be unavailable on Saturday, and how is Marcus progressing in his rehab?
Yeah, Marcus was also impacted by the Omicron wave because, his doctor that he was going to see unfortunately had COVID, so he had to postpone an appointment. So his timeline got set back a little bit. So things are a little bit still up in the air in terms of when Marcus is going to get back on the court with us. So we're just we're trying to stay positive with that and support him and do the best we can to hopefully get him back as soon as possible. But that won't be this weekend. Certainly. And the only other guy right now that we're a little concerned about is Jalen Graham. I think I'd probably call him questionable right now because he's got a non-COVID related illness and he has not been back at all. So, in any workouts since the Cal game. So definitely going to call him questionable for tomorrow.
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious as to the challenges getting back on the court after not having played an extensive amount of days. What do you think might be the biggest as you guys kind of get to rally and regroup here?
Well, I mean, just you're trying to touch, a bunch of different things. You're trying to evaluate too. And I'm getting back on Wednesday and I'm watching, from the computer when I'm at my house some of the guys are doing workouts, but just seeing where everyone's at, just with their conditioning level. And so you're trying to address that. We did some conditioning yesterday. And then also just, working on our offense, our timing and things that are impacted and getting skill work in so that, guys aren't dribbling the ball off their foot or, because they haven't had the repetitions that normally would have in preparing to play a game, of this, quality. So it's, on a limited timetable, you're trying to do a number of different things. At the same time, hey, we've been a pretty good defensive team most of the year. And, we certainly have to guard on Saturday. So we're making, a point to talk about our defense and work on some of our defensive concepts.
Bobby, when you do have this type of a layoff where you're 10 days away from practices, and does that lead to new thoughts or ideas? I know that it's limiting because you're not able to work with the guys, but does that have any impact on frame of mind or thought process about what you're trying to do and accomplish with this group?
I mean, you get to reflect and certainly, look at the Cal game and I evaluated that, pretty close and had some ideas for certain guys, the things that we could potentially do a little better at. And, so you're seeing things. I think certainly one of the things that I noticed from that game was just, the times that we shoot early and quick and our teammates, our guys don't expect those shots to be taken. It spreads and then multiple guys are getting impatient on offense. So I think just trying to trust, what we're doing in the half court offense, and then the quality of our shots, our shot selection has got to improve and get better. And then hopefully that'll help us, at that end of the floor. And, because we are, our inability to score and is certainly putting a lot of pressure on our defense. So, we're focusing on that a little bit just to make sure we're sharing the ball the right way. We're making quick decisions. We're being decisive, at the offensive end, and we're sharing the ball and playing together.
I'll be glad you're feeling better. Just to go back to Marcus for a second, is surgery an option or is it just rehabbing? Is this season in jeopardy? Could you give us any more details on that?
I mean, just like I told the guys, we have 17 games left. So, there's a lot of games out there to be played. So there's no way that I'm saying or assuming that Marcus won't play. And he needs to be armed with all the information that he needs and be confident in the next steps. And, we're going to support him in that process. And, as he's, getting these answers that he needs, then he'll make his decisions. But certainly there's a lot of basketball to be played this year. So I'm very optimistic that he's going to get the information he needs and then work as hard as he can to get back.
In regards to Marion, obviously he was a well-established player at Toledo, and it hasn't transferred over to ASU, maybe is what everyone had thought. I know there were some injury issues there. Is he back to 100% now? And just what do you expect for him, just to kind of turn that corner and start playing at a higher level?
Yeah, I was hopeful for Mar. We had a really good meeting, on the comeback, before the Cal game, and he had a good week of practice. So I was anticipating him having a breakout. And, again, it didn't work out in that game, but, he's got a little pop to his step, and he's an older guy, but he's, it seems like maybe the break has done him some good just to get his legs under him. And I know the time that it's helped his wrist, and that was, I think, a big part of his shooting difficulties through a lot of stretches this year. So hopefully, that's behind him now, and he could have some more positive impact on what we're doing offensively, because we certainly need him to be, more impactful at that end of the court.
Anybody else?
Bobby, just everything that you've been through these last 2 years, it just seems like whenever you guys take a step forward, it's 2 steps backwards. Some for reasons out of your control. Just how frustrating has this been? Just this whole, stretch from dating back to really when you guys were in position for the NCAA tournament a few years ago and had that called off.
Yeah, I feel guilty to think that I've had it tough, just based on, what the real world, the people that are having like real problems with COVID and have lost loved ones and jobs and just what's happened to the world and just the impact that this has had. But certainly this has not been good to me, in terms of, career wise or what we've done here the last 2 years and since that the Pac-12 tournament was stopped. So certainly, yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, I don't think great things have happened in this pandemic, whether it's injuries that we've gone through each of the last 2 years, and then, the multiple stoppages. But, I'm hoping, like I said on my radio show, and I told the team that so many of us got it, this last time that, we should be able to move forward and get into a routine again and get the opportunity to play games. And as long as our opponent could play, then we'll be ready to play, and just excited to go out there and compete.
Bobby, as if you're not able to have Jalen this weekend, and obviously Marcus not there, the depth on the front line is a little thinner. What can you expect, or are you expecting to look for in Enoch as the season progresses and he gets even more acclimated to the college game?
Yeah, Enoch, again, he's a guy, 9 points, 9 rebounds. So that was great versus Cal. And he had some good moments in the Bahamas. So, and he missed so much time that it's, not surprising that, his development has been a little slower. But I think he's progressing well, and, hopefully he'll continue to take steps. He's working extremely hard. He was not one of those guys that was able from Saturday to Tuesday to get reps. So he literally only had 1 day since the Cal game. So I have to be careful with him and monitor him, for this coming game on Saturday. And hopefully he'll get, a good day today under his belt and prepare for tomorrow.
Anything else from anyone?
Can I go real quick?
Sure.
Bobby, obviously, with guys kind of not in game shape at this point, how long do you think it'll take, maybe how many games or whatever, to get into kind of game shape?
Michelle, I think the one thing that we do, I mean, we condition our guys well. Like, our guys are fit, like we practice hard, and, I think they had a good foundation under them, maybe prior to the stoppage. So hopefully that's going to help. But yeah, there's no replacing all the time that you lose, and you're trying to fast track, getting stuff done over a couple of days to try and then I'm trying to see where Gaffney's at right now, because he's a guy that, hasn't played since San Francisco. And he's had like 2 practices since then. So so I'm worried about not only putting a team on the floor that could compete against Colorado, but just, I got to keep in the back of my mind the best interest of these kids, and knowing like a kid like Gaffney has not had much of any type of practice time. So just monitoring his minutes, monitoring Enoch's minutes, and doing all those things in addition to getting ready for an opponent tomorrow. So that's the challenge of it.
Bobby, tomorrow night you're going to be recognizing Idiagu and raising his number to the rafters. Obviously a guy who means a lot to the program. His picture's up in the Weather Up Center. What does that mean for the program, just to have that type of moment at the game?
Yeah, I think it couldn't be a more deserving person and player. I mean, he meant so much to the program, and he's a guy that's come back and he gives back. He's around our guys. Usually prior to COVID, he'd be in the gym playing pickup and sharing his knowledge, with the current players. So he's a guy that loves, Arizona State basketball, and, has had such a great career and was such a, great player here. So, we're excited to have the opportunity to honor him, on Saturday. I think it'd be a big boost. I think, so many people have enjoyed watching him play when he was here. So hopefully all those people will come out and acknowledge Ike and recognize what he's done and what he's meant. And I know to me personally and the guys in the program that he's a guy that wants to share and give and come back and really support the program.